In this video, I'm going to be making a baby black sea bass teaser. This is going to be tied like a fly, like an EP baitfish, similar idea here, but we're fishing it very differently. We're not using it for fly fishing. It's going to be used in the summer when we bottom fish off the coast of New Jersey for fluke or summer flounder. And the concepts are the same. The methods are a little bit different because we're not going to be really casting this thing. We're really just fishing it, jigging it off the bottom. I'll explain that a little bit later as we go along, but this is what we're going to be making. I'm going to set up my vise with a 3/0 mustad hook. It's a standard shank. When you tie this in an EP baitfish, you tend to use a little bit of a shorter shank, but again, this is not going to be for fly casting. I'm going to set up the black thread on the hook shank, wind it all the way back to the bend of the hook. Okay, first step, let me put some flash into the tail. I have some lateral scale. This is fairly thick. I'm just going to take a single strand. Okay, I'm going to wind the thread back past the tip of the hook to the bend of the hook. Okay. Just going to fold this over one time. Try to get 2 even pieces. And then secure that to the back of the hook. Okay, good enough. Okay. So this is going to combine 3 different kinds of materials. And I don't know if this method or this type of fly exists. If you've seen this somewhere else, I did not copy this from anywhere. I'm going to assume from what I've seen that this is kind of an original as far as how I combine the materials. But anyway, the material for the back and the middle of the fly is something that I bought by accident last year. I thought it was EP fibers, but it's actually called crystal flesh. This is the package that it came in. And it's this black synthetic material that has some crystal flash mixed in it. So it's basically a black synthetic material with crystal flash. That's going to be probably 2/3 of the fly. And then towards the front, I'm going to have some EP fibers. We got some blue coloring because the black sea bass have some blue shades in them. And we've got some white for the underbelly and a little bit of red here too for the gills. Towards the front of the fly, we're going to use another material that I bought unintentionally, and it is a EP fiber that is a silky finish, so it doesn't behave like the traditional EP. Okay, so the tail flash is in, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut multiple pieces of this crystal flesh and just lay it on the side. I'm not going to cut them in half. I need them long. Obviously, if you're familiar with how these EP baitfish are made, we're going to cut everything down to size at the end. When you're tying a fly, you use very, very little of this material because it builds up quickly, and you don't want it to be too bulky because it's difficult to cast. I'm not concerned with that here. I'm not as concerned because I'm not casting this. This is bottom fishing. So if it gets a little bulky, that's not a problem. But I don't need to waste the material either, so I'm going to cut strands of this and just put it to the side. I try when I select this to not get too much crystal flash. There's a lot of it in here. Try to get 1 piece of crystal flash for every group of black fiber that I cut. I'm going to cut about 10 of these, just lay them aside. Some of these are probably a little thicker than I need, but okay. So I'm going to take the full strand here. I'm going to basically put it right in the middle at where my tying point is. I'm going to secure it with one wrap. Wrap a little bit rear. And then I'm going to take my piece that's leaning to the front. I'm going to pull that back and secure that down as well. About 3 wraps. There's 4. Using my rotary vise, I'm going to turn it upside down and I'm going to do the same exact thing. Tighten in the middle. Okay. Then I'm going to come forward with my thread several wraps, and I'm going to try to get the fibers through to the back so they're not in the way. And I'm going to continue to do that. Now this is a long shank. This is a standard shank hook. Like I mentioned in the beginning, most times when you tie a fly, you're using a shank that's probably a third shorter than this. So there's not as many tie-in points. But I'm going to have a lot of tie-in points here as I go up the shank of the hook. I'm going to advance the thread a little bit each time, and I'm going to use all this material that I cut, and that'll take me about to the middle of the fly. So here we go. Now I'm probably about 2/3 of the way up the shank of the hook, so I'm going to switch over my materials. I'm going to start to use this silky EP. I'm also going to throw some blue in here for that sea bass color, and also I'm going to take out a little bit of this light color that I have. This is like a grayish white. This is going to be used. I'm just going to use probably 1, maybe 2 pieces of this for the collar and the belly. So don't need very much, just a real thin piece. I'm going to cut this in half and put that aside. This blue has a lot of flash in it as well, so again, I'm going to just pull some strands, cut that in half, put that aside, and I'm going to take some of this black silky EP, and I'm going to cut a few of those. I'm going to cut those in half as well, because we're up here at the last third of the fly, so I don't need these pieces to be as long anymore. They're not being used for their length at this point. All right, let's see what we got with these remaining pieces. Cut this in half. All right, I'm going to throw some blue in here first, add some color. Okay, good. Underneath will be our black. Forward the thread a little bit and do some black on top. And I'm going to try some white on the bottom here. Great. Another round of black on top. Black on the bottom. Thought I was going to go black on the bottom, but just use my last piece, I guess. Okay. No, I didn't. There it is. All right, I'm going to advance my thread for what looks like probably one more tie-in spot. I like how this is looking, and that tie-in spot's going to have some more blue. And white for the collar, the throat. this point, I'm going to do one more black on top. And I'm going to finish that underneath. Just with some of this, I got just a piece of red saddle. I'm just looking for the color here. Just going to pull a few strands off the bottom. This is going to be blood or gills, something to that effect. I'm just going to tie that in, kind of leaning towards the hook shank. Great. Cut off the excess. Gonna build up a little head. All right, perfect. Whip finish this, and then we're going to cut. All right, this is looking good. Looking like we are ready to start to cut. All right, so this is what we got. And we're gonna try to get it into that bait fish shape. I'll take my scissors here. Here's the point of my hook. That's gonna be kind of like my guideline for the first cut. So all the way back. Kind of like the same size here. Okay, teaser is back in the vise. Get the vise secured here. I'm gonna use, I like to use eyes on the larger side. I'm gonna select a point kind of like right behind the head that I've made, where I can still kind of make contact with the shank of the hook with these eyes and some glue. All right, I'm not sure what size eyes I have here. Just know that they are the largest eyes that I have. I'm gonna put these two eyes that I'm gonna pick. They're like a kind of like that rust color. I'm gonna put those upside down at the base of my vise. This is the product. I saw someone make a video on YouTube that had an AP baitfish fly that used this Loctite super glue for the eyes. I have struggled with finding a good glue for the eyes. This has been the best one so far. And I think one of the reasons is because of this dispenser. You squeeze these two blue wings on the side and you get a small amount of glue, and that seems to be the right amount. I just hold it down to the shank of the hook with some light pressure for about 30 seconds until it sets, and then I do the other side. It seems to be working. Okay. Got that bead of glue there. I'm gonna pick the eye up with my bodkin, put it on gently, and I'm just gonna apply pressure here, 30 seconds. All right, so that is the nearly finished sea bass. We're going to finish that up with a little bit of UV in between the eyes, just to finish up that head. We'll let that super glue dry for a bit. All right, well, at this point, the eyes are in position. Glue is dry. Just going to finish up the fly. You could put head cement up top here. You could put some UV resin. I'm going to get a little UV resin here just to kind of finish everything up and kind of attach the eyes together. I'm going to use some solar res and my UV light for that. I'm going to try the thick stuff here. And that is it. So again, baby black sea bass. We've got crystal flesh in the rear 2/3 of the fly. We've got some flashy EP blue and some regular EP white for the throat and the collar. And we've got some silky EP black on the front. Yeah, this is a really good streamer. This was a good performer last summer, which is why I'm tying up a bunch more now. So basically, when we fish on the bottom with this, this is the teaser. We usually fish a bucktail on the bottom. We bounce it along the bottom, and about 12 to 18 inches up on the rig is a teaser. So you could either fish this plain, or typically what I was doing was just using a little piece of strip bait off the back of this, some flounder belly, squid, whatever you have. It doesn't really work too well with a gulp because you can't get the gulp far up the body, but something that hangs off the back of the hook is perfect. So thanks for watching. Hope it was informative. Again, it's a very full fly, a very full tie here. We're not trying to be sparse with the material because we're not fly casting it. But this is it. Thanks for watching.